All right, this is the moment you've all been waiting for, the reveal of this retaining wall after it was completed, or nearly completed. I don't even think they finished it, but let's take a look at it. But before we get to that, I had a conversation with the guy that was building this retaining wall. When it fell, I went over there and I took some pictures, and he rolled up on me as I was taking those photos. I'm sure he didn't feel real good about that. But we had a short little conversation. He admitted to me that he didn't have any engineer plans on this project, and he blamed the site guys for toppling this wall. He said that he had some grid hanging down over the face of the wall, and they tore it down from the top. And the only problem with that is your grid is every 2 courses if you're doing it right, or let's say every 16 to 18 inches if you're doing it right. Okay, so with that being said, somebody coming by with their dozer or whatever, snagging a piece of your grid that you left hanging over the face of the wall, which shouldn't be hanging over the face of the wall, isn't going to topple the whole thing from the top to the bottom. Okay, so that was a short conversation we had with him. Let's go over, let's take a look at these photos while we go over the things that you guys noticed was wrong with this retaining wall. Number one thing that was noticed, the grid was not the right length. You're all correct. The grid was not the right length. In a general sense, your grid should be 60% of your entire wall height. That's just general. That isn't considering other factors, loading on top of the wall, soil conditions in the subgrade, or anything else, soil types or anything else like that. Okay, so get your engineering on your retaining walls, especially if they're going to be 26 feet tall. Okay, let's stop hiring these hacks that think they know what they're doing and telling you they can build it without engineer plans. Stop doing that. Number two, the grid, the geogrid was in the wrong direction. This is uni-axial grid that they were using, and they put it in the wrong direction. It had no strength. A little strength, but no strength. Okay, it's strong in one direction. And we know that by the bands that they put on the thick band that you've seen on the front side of the wall. That band has it written on there. It says strength direction, and it has an arrow that tells you the direction of the strength. You got to roll those things out the length that you need them and cut them. Okay, grid length was not there, and the grid direction was wrong. The fill zone, or the reinforced zone, was wrong as well. Okay, like we said, 60% of the wall height. They should have at least had, from the face of that wall, 12 to 13 feet at a 20-foot wall height excavated out. At 26 foot tall, where it was going to end up, they should have had about 15 and a half to 16 foot of excavated area, and all of that would be your drainage zone and your reinforced select fill. All right, so they messed that up. And then the one controversial aspect, some people, it's the filter fabric. Some people are going to say you need the filter fabric. Others are going to say you don't need the filter fabric. We've always used the filter fabric to separate our soils from our stone. The engineers have always called for filter fabric. Why do we not deviate from that? Because the engineer called for it. And if the engineer called for it and I put it in there, I can't be held liable if it fails because of the filter fabric, as long as it's the correct weight filter fabric. Okay, 6 ounce, 4 ounce, it depends on how tall the wall is, so on and so forth. We usually use 6 ounce. That's typically what the engineers are calling for around here. What else was wrong with that wall? Drains. Did it have drains in it? Honestly, I'm not really sure. I can't remember if it did or not, but we didn't see any drains in that photo. We can safely assume they messed everything else up. They probably didn't have drains in it either. Okay, there's a lot that went wrong with this retaining wall. Let's do something about these hacks building our retaining walls. Retaining walls are to hold back the earth, to keep it from falling down. When we have retaining walls falling down, major retaining walls. These are huge structures falling down. That is a major hazard. A major hazard. We cannot have that in this industry. We need to be holding these people accountable to a higher standard. They're getting away with building these massive walls without getting inspections, without submitting plans to the city, without the prerequisites to make sure that they're actually building it correctly. We got to stop letting that happen, okay? Report it. Get these people out of here. Raise the bar on the barrier of entry to this industry. We can't have this stuff happening in our industry. It's giving us a bad name. It's ruining us. Let us know what you think about the photos. Give us a like and a follow. We'll see you on the next one.